Courtney Arnold. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome back, guys. I'm here with Courtney Arnold, as I just said. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm so good, girl.
Good.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having
Season
me.
finale. I keep saying that so you get nervous.
Yeah, it's working.
So I actually brought you on the show because I want to talk to you about all of your travels.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
When did this start? Like, how did you get, like, I guess they call it like a travel bug. When did that start for you?
Oh, I was born with that bug.
Okay.
I think as a Navy brat,
Mhm.
just traveling around all the time. So my parents started moving me around, and then it just never stopped.
Where were all the places you moved as a child?
Let's see. We'll do the whole timeline.
Let's do the timeline.
I was born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Tim's obsessed with Jacksonville, Florida.
Because it's terrible.
when have you been back? Like, have you been back since?
I should. Yes.
Okay. Still terrible.
Somebody
Still
lives
terrible.
there and makes us go there. And,
Oh, yeah. I don't like it either. Go on.
Okay, Jacksonville. And then we went to Virginia Beach. And then for some reason, back to Jacksonville. And then to Denmark. So that was our first time out of the country as a family. We were there for like 4 years. And then Fairfax, Virginia. Yep. And then my dad retired there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the end of the family moves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
So what
I
was
became an adult and went off to
So now you're a
college.
grown woman.
Yeah.
Out of all those places you went to, did you enjoy Denmark the best or Jacksonville?
This Denmark.
Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been out there before.
It's awesome.
We lived in
It's chilly.
Ramstein, like Germany,
Oh
for a
yeah.
while. I was super young. I don't remember.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So there's no American base in Denmark, so
Okay.
we used to drive like 12 hours to Germany to get like Oreos and peanut butter, and we'd go to Ramstein. Yeah.
Oh my, Courtney, our
Yeah.
lives are like so
I know.
connected. We don't even know
I know,
this.
it's crazy.
So now that you're a grown woman,
Yep.
you kept with the travel. I know you went to school in Baltimore, so kind of
Yes.
stayed in that area. And then
Yeah.
did you travel throughout college? Did you do any, what do they call it? Travel abroad.
I didn't, because I played
Oh.
lacrosse
Okay.
in college, so
Mhm.
that like, and it was my intention to. So when I was in high school and I was looking at different colleges,
Mhm.
I kept asking coaches like, "Are you cool people studying abroad, like and leaving, and like whatever?" And Loyola was one of the schools that supported that. But then when I got there, I realized like, okay, they say that they support that, but it would like affect my playing time and it would kind of like mess with things.
Mhm.
And then I stupidly didn't go. Yeah,
No.
I know, but I made up for it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. So graduated college, and then what happened?
Yeah. So then I was like, see ya.
Yeah.
My life has been way too structured for a
Mhm.
while. And I moved down to Florida,
Mhm.
stayed with my brother for a little bit. And the first travel adventure was a cross-country road trip in the States. I was like, let's kick this off
Yeah.
in America. And did like a month and a half with, how many people? At one point there was 5 people in a Nissan Altima
Wow.
with a roof bag on top of the car because we just had so much stuff. And we started in Annapolis, Maryland.
Mhm.
We went all the way out west.
Yeah.
And almost made it back all the way. We got in a car accident in Aspen and totaled the car.
Really?
Yeah. It got cut a little short.
Okay, so when you planned this, did you stay in motels? Like, did you stop for like in certain cities for certain amounts of days? Like, how did that work?
So we were like early 20s,
Mhm.
and I did that trip way differently than I would do it
Yeah.
now. We like bypassed all these amazing like national parks, and we were just like Vegas, and like we're like trying to party, and
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, like so mad at
You missed so
myself.
many things.
Yeah, for all the things we drove past. But we pretty much just stayed with friends.
Yeah.
Like between the 5 of us, like we meet people all along the way.
Mhm.
So we made some pretty random stops, and yeah, I think we had camping gear and had intentions of camping, and then we were like, let's stay on
Who wants
people's
to
couches.
camp?
Yeah.
Not that that's, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
That's wild. I don't
Yeah,
think I
it's
can
cool.
do road trips. Like, I think staying in the car for me for like 4 hours, I'm like,
Yeah, it was intense. There was a guy that started out with us, and he had just finished like hiking the Appalachian Trail,
uh-huh.
and so after a few weeks in a car with like 3 other women, once we got to LA, he was like, peace, and he flew home because he couldn't handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I guess
it was a little too
because
much.
you're like, you have to be really close in those cars.
Yeah,
so.
it was a lot of time together. Yeah.
Do you still do road trips a lot?
Little mini ones. So being in Atlanta is cool because it's been like there's
Mhm.
all these places you can drive
Mhm.
to from here. So my boyfriend and I have gone to Chattanooga and Nashville and Asheville multiple times. We love Asheville. And just like North Georgia. And so little mini ones, but I haven't done like a full road trip like that. I want to redo it and actually stop at some parks.
And go to all the like Yosemite and Yellowstone.
Yeah. All the parks.
But you've actually done a lot of exotic travel like overseas too. Tell me about that.
So that was the first. We'll do this in chronological order.
Okay, right. Yes, let's do this.
How it happens in my head. Okay, so the road trip, and then the next thing I did, I forgot about this one. I went and worked in Jamaica for a month. Did you know that?
No.
It was weird.
I worked there.
Like, on paper, I wasn't working. Like, if anyone asked, I wasn't working.
And you're still in your 20s during this time, like your young 20s.
Yeah, I had just graduated, so it's probably 20. I was 21, probably. My brother had done this program before. Yeah. And so then I applied to do it. It was called Student City, which is like a spring break company.
Yeah,
I feel like I've heard this. Came across those. Yeah, I don't know if it's still a thing.
Probably because you're not working.
Yeah.
It's not an actual program.
It was weird. It was like being a camp counselor at spring break, pretty much. I was just like babysitting kids that were too drunk and eating edibles and getting messed up, and I had to like calm them down. Yeah. That's pretty much what I did on a daily basis.
Sounds fun.
It's fun.
But at least you had to go to Jamaica though. That's cool.
So I was living in Negril for like a month, and it was amazing. I loved it. Yeah.
Well, how was the food there?
So good.
Is it good?
Yeah. A friend of mine and I were on the Travel Channel. They were filming something while we were there, and so there's a nice close-up shot of me like ripping into some jerk chicken. Yeah.
Do you still have that clip?
My parents might. I remember they had it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's perfect for you to be on the Travel. Didn't you want a show on the Travel Channel? That wasn't you. Go on.
I would take one.
You would do it. Yeah. You would. I would be interested in that.
Yeah, I'd do that.
To see all the places you go.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Okay, so after the month in Jamaica, let's see. And all the while, I was like coming home to the States and like staying with my brother in Florida and working really weird jobs. Like I worked at a crystal shop for a little bit.
Like those
like crystals, yeah. So I worked like all these weird jobs like all along the beach. Like we always joke now when I go back there and we drive up, like it's like this one way or one street down this island, and I'm like, I worked there, and I worked there, and I worked there. Yeah. So I was working all these weird jobs, make some money, and like go off again. But I worked, and then I applied to work at a school in Thailand. So this was a program through Loyola, so through the school I went to, and got it, weirdly. And then, went to Bangkok for a year to teach English.
Wow. Yeah. How was that? What was that like?
That was really scary.
It was scary
because everybody knew each other. Yeah. Like, it was all these kids that went to Loyola, and they were like a year or two younger than me. Oh. That's why I was surprised I got in, because I was like a couple of years out of school, a year or two out of school. And I was like, they're not going to take me. I don't know. I didn't know how it worked. So they all knew each other. Like, we're at the airport, like, getting leave, and they were all hanging out. And I was like,
that's like my worst fear.
Yeah, it was
like
scary.
Sitting alone at lunch or something.
Yeah, it was.
And you know, like, being a military brat, it's always like the scary thing. Yeah. You're like, be alone.
You're like, can you be my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it worked out. They were all cool. We ended up all, like, living together, like, in a building right on campus.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how was it, like, so you lived together on the campus?
Yeah.
Did you eat like on campus as well?
You could. They provided lunch every day, but you never really knew what you were getting.
Oh.
So I would usually go check it out.
Yeah.
See if I could stomach it, and depending on what it was. I mean, then I would go eat some other random food on the streets. It wasn't like I was, then I'm going to go to McDonald's or whatever, but...
Did you explore a lot of Bangkok when you were there?
Yeah, I did a lot of exploring around Bangkok, and then that was just kind of home base, and from there went to like northern Thailand, southern Thailand, spent a lot of time in the south. I don't remember how their school year worked, but we had like a whole month off at one point. And so we went to the south the whole time and just like bopped around. And then I went to Laos and Vietnam. Yeah. And I think that's it from there. Yeah. Oh, and Australia.
Courtney, what? Oh, okay. So you went to Australia during this year while you're over there?
Yeah. So at the very end, so I had like, and they paid this program. They like paid for my ticket, like round trip out and back. So I had like a little over a month between when school ended and my flight back to the States. So I had saved up money to go to Australia. I went by myself. That was my first big solo trip, which was hard because a lot of my friends were all like, they were all breaking down in smaller groups and like some going to India and all these different places, but I was like trying to stick to my guns, like
going to Australia.
Yeah, because we always did like foreign exchange students growing up. And
really, your family did?
Yeah, we hosted 3, and our second was a girl at the time, she was in high school, from Australia. And she was like a big sister to me, and I just like was obsessed with Australia ever since she lived with us.
Did you keep in contact with her?
Yeah, so you're still super close. So that was like a big part of the trip, was to go see her and meet her kids. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you stayed with her while you were over there. How long were you there?
I stayed with her for a little bit. It was like this is like so long.
I know, it's fine.
It was like a month and a half or something.
Really? So it was like a good trip.
It was a good chunk of time.
Really immerse yourself in.
Yeah, like I had a flight in and I had a flight into Sydney and out of, actually it was back in Sydney, but I knew that I was like traveling up the East Coast, and just kind of slowly. I didn't really have much of a plan. It was just like a day in and a day out, and just make sure I'm back in Sydney at that day. And
that's so cool.
Yeah.
So what was the food like? What was the experience like? Things not to do, should do, if you can remember.
It was expensive, especially in Sydney. So I would like pack a lunch and like really be resourceful because in general it was really expensive to be there. And I did do a lot of like camping and like sleeping in a car.
Just all by yourself?
I would kind of, at times I was by myself and at times I wasn't. So I also have 2 friends from college that live there. One is an Australian, another girl is American, but she now lives there and she married an Aussie man. And so lacrosse is really big there. And I had some lacrosse friends there. So I stayed with some of them in Melbourne, and then there was like friends of friends. Like I stayed with this guy in Sydney. I feel like this makes me sound crazy. I stayed with a guy in Sydney that I had met. I forgot my Costa Rica trip because I met him while traveling in Costa Rica.
This is Costa Rica. You just went, right?
Yeah, so I had gone prior too.
I
forgot that trip on the timeline.
So Costa Rica is before Thailand.
Yes, it was.
Courtney.
I forgot. It's been like 10 years.
No, I know this
stuff.
So you saw him again in Australia.
Yeah. So we stayed in contact because we like traveled together for like 2 weeks in Costa Rica and just like really hit it off as friends and stayed in touch. And he was like, "Yeah, you can stay at my place in the city." And he was actually gone at Coachella in the States and just like left me this key to his dope apartment like up on the hills in Bondi Beach. I don't know. Things just worked out for me then.
Your life is so fascinating.
So weird. Anyway, so yeah, like along the way I was like kind of meeting up with people that I knew, but there was parts where I was definitely just like cruising by myself and meeting people. Like I met these guys that were all like snowboarder instructors in Colorado, and I like hung out with them a lot towards the tail end of the trip. And
what? So when you're out there camping, I always hear about Australia, they have like really exotic bugs and like animals. How is that?
So I was just stupidly naive and didn't know any of that stuff, which worked. I just got lucky. But yeah, we spent like a good amount of time like hiking and camping in the Black Hills, I forget what it's called. But yeah, I was just like surrounded by deadly spiders and wasn't really too aware. We saw some crazy snakes that were apparently pretty bad, but we looked up later.
Yeah.
There's dingoes everywhere, which is really hard because you just want to pet them.
What's a dingo again?
It's like a dog.
Okay,
it looks like a dog.
Yeah.
They're super cute. They just look kind of like mutts, and you're like, I want to touch you, but
they're dangerous.
You might eat my baby.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know that quote?
No, I don't. Okay.
Anyways, moving on.
I missed that one.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of deadly animals, and there's like deadly jellyfish that apparently like once you get up to like, I hope I'm remembering all this right. It's been ages, but apparently I think it's like once you get up to a certain point on the coast, like it was like, okay, now the jellies are dangerous and they might kill you, and you had to like start swimming with like a wetsuit on for sure. But what always bothered me was like, I'm in a wetsuit, but my hands and my feet are like not covered, and my face.
True.
And I'm swimming around like this. I feel like if I'm gonna hit a jelly,
it would be with your.
It's gonna be with my hands.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you made it.
I survived Australia.
Wow. So do you still keep in contact with all those people that you met while you were over there?
Yeah. I still talk to them a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. They're all like married with kids now. Yeah. It's crazy.
So you can go back and visit.
Yeah.
And see all the kids and meet back up. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So after Australia.
That was the tail end of the Bangkok trip, right? So then it was back to Bangkok just pretty much for like a week and then to fly out. There was actually like a lot of like government turmoil going on at the time, and there was curfew, and it was really crazy. So I like got out right in time and just went back to DC area. What happened next? So while I was in, I haven't told this whole story in ages. So it's really weird. It feels like another lifetime. While I was in Thailand, a friend of a friend, it was a guy I worked with in Thailand named Matt, and his friend from college, also went to Loyola, was teaching English in Spain at the time. And he was like, yo, we got to talk to this chick, and we Skyped with her, and she told us all about the program and how she did it. And we were both like, cool, let's apply, let's do it. So we're in Thailand applying for a program in Spain.
Yeah.
And then probably months later, whatever, we found out we both got it, but we were placed in different locations. So I think I probably came home from Thailand in the spring, and then I went back off to Spain in the fall.
Wow.
So I was probably in Florida that summer. And then back off to Spain by myself to this random tiny little town. God, what was it called? Oriana la Vieja, I'm pretty sure, which is, so I don't know what Oriana means, a name, but it's the old, La Vieja, it was old.
Really?
Yeah. And it was super small. It was 3,000 people, and nobody spoke English, and my Spanish was awful, and it was a struggle.
I was going to ask you, do you try to learn the languages before you go to these places?
Well, I thought I spoke Spanish. And then I quickly was like,
no, I don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they were I had to set up a bank account and do all these really adult things, get an apartment. And I was like, I don't know, I have these words. I can only ask where the library
Why do
is.
you have to set up a bank account?
Because I was going to be there for a year. And
true.
For them to pay me. So this was this program was a grant through the Spanish government to be a cultural assistant is how they framed it up. So I was working at 2 different schools. And helping them. One was younger kids. One was actually a vocational culinary school. It was travel, and so it was kind of 2 parts of it. People that were focused on culinary, and then another part was people that were learning to work in hotels.
Yeah.
And so there's a big focus, especially for those kids, to speak English, to work with travelers and stuff. So yeah.
So that
weird.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it was a struggle, and I was basically I can't stay in this little town. It's killing me. And I found some teachers that lived in a slightly larger town, and they would commute in every day. And by slightly larger, I think that town was 30,000 people maybe. So I moved over to that town just to have a little bit more of
a little bit more
life.
things to do.
Yeah, there's literally nothing in Oriana.
Yeah.
So that town's called Don Benito.
Don Benito.
Don Benito. Yeah, and so I would just.
Why do we have to do that for that? Don Benito.
Don Benito. That's what Don would have.
Yeah, that's how he would have done it clearly.
Yeah, so then that helped. I got a little bit larger, and then I met a boy.
Ooh.
Met a boy there named Daniel Alberto Sanchez Augusto.
Really?
I should say his full name. Don't Google it.
I'll blurt it out.
Whatever.
I won't.
But so then I met this guy, and I was damn it, because I was really trying to leave. I still was just having a hard time. And I like to be open about it, because people are oh, that's so magical, you're living in Spain and it's so beautiful and wonderful, but it was a really big struggle. Weirdly, that was more of a culture shock than Bangkok, because Bangkok's this big international city, and it was still a small enough town that I was the first foreigner a lot of these people were meeting. So I'm walking around town, everyone's
amazed
looking at me, and they knew who I was, and it was just too much, and I didn't. Yeah, it was
that
tough.
could be uncomfortable.
Yeah, had I been in Madrid or Barcelona, completely different story. This is southwest, really rural Spain.
Did you get a chance to go to Madrid and Barcelona?
Yeah, well, not Barcelona, but Madrid. Took a few trips there to and Lisbon was actually pretty close as well, and so I'd go to Lisbon more. I really liked it there.
Ooh.
Yeah, so because of this boy, I stuck around Spain a little bit longer. And started working for a private kind of after school program school, teaching English, and stayed in Don Benito a little bit longer. Eventually him and I moved to Cáceres. It was one of the larger towns in that region. That is a really beautiful town. It was still small, and I don't know, I was just still struggling with things, and I don't think he wasn't my person, and it all just kind of, after 2.5 school years of living there and stuff, it all kind of came to a culmination where I was I'm just a teacher now. I've been doing this I did it for a year in Thailand, and I've been doing it here for a while, and I do not like it. I liked all this traveling and all the other stuff that came with it, but I wanted to come back to the States and start a career. And so it all kind of came screeching to a halt one day, and Came back to America.
Goodbye, Rodrigo. Goodbye, boy.
Goodbye, boy.
Not meant to be.
Yeah.
So came back to the States, left that place.
Left it all behind.
And then, so your background, you're actually a copywriter. So like you have always like kind of been focused in English. So you talked about your career a little bit.
Yeah.
What happened next?
So I wasn't a copywriter at that point. I've always been a writer of sorts.
Yeah,
and as a kid, like writing weird poems, and like I was a journalism major, and somewhere in one of those Floridian summers, I like worked at a newspaper and like wrote really weird stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like everyone who does journalism always ends up like a TV station, like a random newspaper,
it's a random
like
newspaper
super small. Yeah.
that has like since crumbled. It's called like the Barrier Island Gazette. Yeah.
It sounds
because they calling it the Gazette, they were just setting themselves up for
failure.
Nothing called the Gazette is gonna make it.
Exactly.
Done. So yes, I went back to Florida. It was always back
to Florida.
Home base with my brother. And I had just gotten back, and I was at a New Year's Eve party, and one of their friends' wives worked at an agency called 22 Squared, which is where we met. And she was like, our receptionist is leaving. You would be perfect. Like, you should come in and work at the front desk. And I was like, okay, cool. I got nothing going on right now. I'm gonna work really hard on this.
Yeah.
And I like made this website and all these videos and like.
What were the videos about? Okay.
They were about me and my travels, and I talked about it because I was like, that's all I got going. I
want to find them.
No, that's why I was like hesitating because they're really bad. But I was like, I just got to lean into the fact that I've been like living this weird life for the past like few years because I don't have any other skills.
Yes, you do.
So
talented.
I didn't at the time. So I just applied and actually worked out, and I got in, and then I kind of got my foot in the door as in advertising, and that's when I started to learn about copywriting, and I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So then I started kind of moonlighting as a copywriter at the front desk and learning about that. And eventually, after like a year and a half, maybe at the front desk, then I transitioned full-time over into copywriting.
Cool. Yeah. Did you give up traveling at this point?
Never.
Always in your heart.
Yes, always in my heart. I recently learned what imposter syndrome is. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's like a feeling that you get, especially when you start a new job, where you just feel like you don't belong there.
Oh.
And I like just learned this term, and I was like, oh my God, like I know that feeling. And I had that so much when I first started at 22, like just eating lunch and like hearing people's conversations. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm like so different. It was like a struggle for sure to like adjust to like a normal like 9 to 5, and I wanted to just like run away to like Bali or something.
Still in your heart.
Still there. Still in the Bali.
Yeah.
So then it was just like traveling in a different way and going to some different trips. Yeah. Like New Orleans, like especially like places in the Southeast that I hadn't been to, and so just started traveling in a different way. And
did you do you always do travel by yourself, or do you go with your boyfriend?
So now I got this American boo. Yeah.
He's so great.
Yeah, he's great. So we've been together 5 years. We met in Florida. So now he's my travel buddy. He's on board for that. So
he goes all these places with you. And...
Yeah, probably after we'd only known each other a few months, I like dragged him down to Key West. That was our first trip together. And like looking back on it, I'm like, shit, it's good it worked out.
Yeah.
Like that could have been really weird.
I feel like they always say like to see if you guys are compatible is to travel together.
Yeah.
So at least we got that out of the way.
That, and I've heard IKEA, like go to IKEA together and see how things go. And we did that pretty early. That
worked
out. Yeah.
IKEA? See if you like fight like who wants to go.
Yeah, because IKEA just like will start like closing in on you if you're not like on the right attitude.
I feel like me and Tim are always getting in fights in IKEA. That's a whole nother thing. We're always in fights. Very cool, Courtney.
Yeah.
So what's next? Like any cool plan? Like any new trips coming up?
Well, I would like to go back to the other Costa Rica trip.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, this is important.
This is when I met you officially, kind of.
I was doing this.
You're about to do it. I met you first met you, and then you left like 3 months later, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it was fall of last year. It was only a year ago.
2017.
So it started to be just like smaller trips with Julian, like Puerto Rico and little trips and stuff. But I hadn't really done like a full like backpacking like 22-year-old Courtney again in a while. And it didn't pan out like quite like I expected. Yeah. But so we worked this agency together, and if you've worked there 3 years or longer, you can go volunteer somewhere for months. So I applied, and got in to do it. And I went to Nicaragua and Costa Rica to coach lacrosse and teach English I was there for 6 weeks. So that was like, back to the backpack. And I was like staying at these hostels with all these like 18-year-old Brits. And I was just like, ooh, like, I remember like telling myself like Knight wanted this weird hostel like on an island somewhere in Nicaragua. Like, I can just go back to my hut. Like, I don't have to stay here. It was
so you had like another hut somewhere else?
Yeah, like had my own little private hut thing. But yeah, it was just weird being back in that environment and like being in my 30s and not in my early 20s. And I'm like, things have changed.
You're a grown woman now out there.
Down
yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
So was it hard to keep up? Did you hang out with the Brits?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were cool. They taught me how to slackline.
What is that?
Like tightrope thing between two poles or two trees, like all the hippies do.
Did you? Yeah, I've seen it, but you're like always like, were you tied to something else?
No, I mean you're only like a couple feet off.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like up in a tree somewhere.
No. So yeah. Anyways, I just hung out with them, did weird hippie kid things. But then I started working down in Costa Rica. And once I think I like settled into like life in Costa Rica, then it was cool. Then I became best friends with this 9-year-old that I lived with.
And her like little rabbit.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. The rabbit has since passed, but yeah, Valeria became a best friend. We just got to hang out in Costa Rica for a month, so that was a good like longer getting back to that life
and teaching lacrosse and kind of back to your roots and stuff.
Yeah, back to some Spanish, which was cool. Yeah.
Do you try to keep up with your Spanish while you're back in the States?
Yeah. So I'm moving to Austin in a few weeks. Which is mostly exciting.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
No, I really am though.
But yeah, I'll get a lot of Spanish there. Get some good Mexican food again, which I'm psyched about. So yeah, the Spanish is always fun to keep going. I try and keep it going.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
All your journeys. I am nowhere near as adventurous as you are. Maybe one day I'll go to like Canada.
Yeah.
Have you been to Canada?
I have. So that was a bigger trip Julian and I did recently. We went out to the Pacific Northwest. And we did Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver together. That was Julian's first time out of the country to Canada, so he didn't want to come back.
Oh, he didn't? He loved it so much?
No.
I hear Canada's really nice.
It's
like
so
the people are nice, the food is good.
Everything is just nice.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Just like get in a car and just like bust through the
Do you have your passport?
It has since expired.
Ooh.
I think we had it like obviously because being like a military brat, like you have a passport, but I never renewed it. Tim's never been out of the country. Tim had never been out of like the Southeast until he met me. So we're gonna get on it. 2019.
There you go.
I'll just like
the year of travel.
I'll go to like Nashville. I'll come out to Austin and visit you and Julian now, and then we'll make it to another country soon.
Yep.
I'll always contact you. I know you get those like little books. Don't you like read those books before you go places?
I'm a big Lonely Planet person. It's I love my guidebooks. I'm a nerd. Most people probably not just like look it up on the internet, but I've just like been doing that since like pre-internet.
So tell people what Lonely Island books are.
Lonely Planet.
Lonely Planet.
Lonely Island's good too. That was funny. It's just guidebooks. They kind of highlight just very. I feel like an old person when I try to use these books.
Like highlighting.
Like all the places to eat, places to stay. They got little like money signs of how expensive it is. I just look for the $1 sign.
Exactly.
Follow that. Yeah, they're pretty good. So usually, especially if I'm going somewhere like going to Costa Rica or Nicaragua, where I'm like, I'm not gonna have a phone. I need to have like something concrete that I can like
always
know that I have. So I like the emergency numbers are in there. Like. Yeah, I especially like traveling by myself. I'll like fully plan that out and like, make sure everyone. My boyfriend had like the information of where I was going to be every step of the way.
That's good. Yeah. Have you ever had one last question? Have you ever had a really like scary experience when you're traveling by yourself? Like one time you're like,
nothing too scary. I was constantly lying the whole time that I was traveling through Nicaragua by myself. I wore like a fake wedding ring, and the whole time I was just like, my husband's waiting for me. Like, he's right at the corner. Right. Like constantly lying so that I wasn't just like clearly alone. I'm not gonna be like, I'm alone and I don't know what I'm doing.
No one's looking for me.
No one cares about me. I speak Spanish too, so that helped. I think I would have felt a lot more nervous if I didn't speak Spanish. So I just lie a lot. But I did get myself in a couple situations. And like I was in a cab by myself one time, and the guy like pulled over and was like engine trouble and was getting out and doing stuff, and I was like, oof. That seems like the beginning of a Lifetime movie. Yeah. It's like I've seen
this.
Taken. I know what happens.
You know what goes
so I was
down.
ready.
Did you like get out and run?
Nothing happened there. I was like, let me just see. So yeah, there was like little scares along the way. Like there was like a drunk guy messing with me one time. So then just lying my ass off. My husband's coming. He's super big.
He's super big.
The Rock. I don't even heard of him. Yeah, but my very last night in San Jose, Costa Rica, I got duped. I was like, almost made it, man. I like almost made it out without getting taken advantage of. This cab driver just kind of like stole some money from me, basically. He lied. I gave him a 20, and then he like switched it on me and told me it was like not a 20, and I ended up having to go to the ATM, take out more money. I don't know. It's just like whatever, just to get out of it in the end. But it wasn't scary. He was just
gotcha.
Just gotcha. Yeah.
Well, at least you haven't had like anything really bad happen. That's good.
I've had some close calls, especially in Laos. There was some weird things. There's like it's like a lawless land there. Be very careful. They just make things up and they're like, this is a rule now. All of a sudden it's curfew and we can arrest you for whatever reason. So yeah, I've gotten out of Dodge a couple times, but always make it out.
Always be careful. Always lie.
Yeah. So you have a husband. Always lie. That's just a good rule for life. Just lie.
I always tell people my name is Teresa.
Really?
And I'm like, in college, my name was Teresa Randolph the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah, just a random name.
That's good.
Do you have a random name that you come up with?
No.
No?
I should have.
You should.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Sometimes if I'm uncomfortable, I will just give my best friend's phone number instead of mine. She hates it. But I think it's funny.
I always hear people giving out like the Pizza Hut phone number, like some random number like that. Yeah. It's like a business. I don't have that down. I always change like the last 4.
Yeah.
Or like 404, like something weird. I don't know. Like make up something.
Yeah.
I've gotten caught a few times when they're like, how do you spell like Randolph? I'm like, and I like totally forget.
Just like it sounds,
just just do whatever you can. It's like Rudolph. Well, Courtney,
that's it. We made it.
We made it. It wasn't that bad, right?
No, I feel like I blacked out a little bit.
Such an interesting story. Thank you for coming on the show. Such a good last step. Of the season. We'll be back.
Sorry.
We'll do I'll come to Austin. We can be at like a taco truck.
Little follow-up. Ooh.
Yeah. On location.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, nice.
We'll do that. Well, cool. I'll miss you so. Excited to know what's gonna come up next.
Me too.
Thanks, girl.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.